Hello and welcome to PAXTON Road TV. This is the preview show for the game Spurs versus Villa, which kicks off on Wednesday. We're a couple of days ahead of that because we've got quite a busy schedule this week, but we are still going to do a preview show. And we're joined in the house by Mike Hustler, Darius 3K, and we have at the bottom row Premier Hotspur TV, Simon and Sid Spurs. Good evening and welcome, gentlemen. How are we all?
Good evening.
Well, before I checked Twitter, I was all right. But I mean, any Spurs fan that checked Twitter, I don't know if you'd be all right after that.
Twitter. F Twitter. That's all I'm going to say. F
Sports more like.
You know what I mean? We don't have to worry about what Twitter says. We just got to worry about what the team does tomorrow. On Wednesday. So we are in good spirits after a positive result at the weekend. Yesterday, in fact. Spurs winning that game 2-0. Very good in terms of the stats. I think it was 20-something shots, 13 on target. Couldn't have really asked for more, apart from more goals. I think that would have been a bit more of an icing on the cake. But clean sheet. Not much more to say in terms of the performance, the team selection. Again, there's some ifs and buts and maybes and all the rest of it. But what can you say about a team that wins a game quite comfortably? And now we can possibly look towards cementing this Europa League squad. Champions League isn't officially gone, not officially, but it's really gone. Let's not say anything more than that. It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. But following that decent performance against Villa, let's just have a quick listen to what Mason had to say about the game yesterday evening.
Well done. So many positives today. Let's start with the performance and the win, which is the all-important thing, isn't it?
Yep, excellent. It's always important to bounce back from defeats, especially at our home. That's 3 wins on the bounce here now, so that's good. That's a good feeling. The performance, thought it was excellent. Deserved more goals. I felt we was in control, creating chances. Keeper pulled off some good saves with the post, I think 3 times. So. We defended well when we needed to as well as a group. So really good performance. I'm very pleased.
So what I do like about Mason, he does come out and he tries to be positive in all his interviews. He's everybody keeps saying he's very much a pro Levy man. He's Levy's mouthpiece. But I think he's just doing what he's there to do. You know, he knows he's interim. He knows he's a guy that wants to continue his career. He wants to do that with the under-18s. And then possibly one day he could become a top manager. We never know. These things are difficult. But how are you guys feeling after that performance about this going into this Villa game? I'm going to start with the downstairs people. Let's start with Sid. How are you feeling going into Wednesday's game?
I think Sunday's performance, 3 points was massive for us. We've got 2 games left. And going into Wednesday, I think quite confident. Again, Kane, Højbjerg played well. Bale played well. Dele Alli played well. We kept a clean sheet. Tanganga came in at right back. He's done well as well. So, hopeful. And I think we will get the 3 points. I think Villa now are getting to that stage where they've got some big games and Grealish is back, but maybe it might be too little too late for them. Too little too late for us as well. But I think the fans behind us on Wednesday and final home game. So I think 3 points should be guaranteed.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sid. I think that's going to be a massive difference, having the fans in the stadium. I'm not sure how many are allowed. Does anybody know the actual numbers of home fans that are going to be allowed?
10,000, I think.
I think it's 10,000,
10,000.
10,000. Well, that's going to be a massive.
They're struggling to sell. They're struggling to sell at the minute.
Are they?
Well, 60 quid a ticket, isn't it?
60 quid, yeah.
This is where the board need to think about these sort of things. All the hoo-has that's happening, and they're going to try and sell tickets. Anyway, that's another story. Let's get more into this because, as I said, we can talk about those sort of things all day. I'll come to you, Mike. In terms of going into this game, what are you expecting for the team?
I think much of the same as yesterday's. Is yesterday? I'm losing track of the days here. Much of the same as yesterday's game. I thought the sort of performance was positive. You should take exactly that performance into the next game. You'd hope there's a bit of momentum there. Kane's back firing on all cylinders. Ali had a good performance. Tanganga at the right back had a good performance. So I very much would like to see very much the same as what we saw yesterday, and take that into Wednesday's game.
Yep. It's going to be
quite straightforward.
It should be a good game. Like I said, I think with the home fans, 10,000 of them, that's going to be a massive difference. Yeah, I hope that the players react to that. Simon, I'll come to you next. How are you feeling about tomorrow's? I always say tomorrow's game. How are you feeling about Wednesday's game?
Yeah, confident, absolutely. As we had against Wolves, they missed Neto at the weekend, I think, what Wolves did. But apart from that, it was a good Wolves side, and I think we handled them well. Dele Alli, he played well again, Sam. Thank you very much. I don't think no one can deny Ali. I think he was better. I think he'll get better with more games he plays. So that's why I always back Ali. We've got to keep him for next season. I think he'll be a big player for us. But some people's got their own opinions. I mean, some people want to sell Ali, but apart from that, guys, it was a great performance. And I'll take it into against Villa. And I don't think I think Villa's got nothing to play for now. We've got that Europa League still to try and get, and I think it'll be comfortable, guys. I really do.
I know you're a big fan of Dele.
I hope you're right.
we've had these back and forths about Dele. We've had them back and forth. Simon has been staunch on it. He's a Dele Alli supporter. Darius, your thoughts on the game for tomorrow?
So Wednesday. For me personally, yeah,
Last
Wednesday.
time I made that mistake.
For me personally, I think this is the most important game out of the two, and I was comparing this to the Wolves game as well. I've got 3 reasons why this is the most important game out of the final 3. 1, fans are back, final home game. There is no excuse to not put 100% effort in. I said for the Wolves game, I don't really care what happens in terms of the performance as long as we get the 3 points, because that's what was most important, I believed, at that time. Now, for me, having all those fans in the stadium, knowing what not the players necessarily, but knowing kind of what's happened this season, the ups and downs that's caused, I think that for those players to just leave 100% on that pitch and give their all for those fans, just for that final game, is all they're really asking for. So that's one reason. My second reason is if we win this game, it confirms St. Totteringham's Day. So I think that's important. I don't really see why the players shouldn't see that as important as well. So because it'll mean a lot for the fans if you can confirm that final game of the season, final home game of the season. That'll be a good thing. You can go out with a little bit of positivity. And my third reason is Europa League spot. It's so important. Like, I don't understand why people weren't as fuming for going out of that Europa League than they were losing a Carabao. For me, that Europa League that's everything for Tottenham. I believe that really ticks every single box that everybody's looking for, as in you, 1, get in the Champions League, and you 2, win a big trophy, in my opinion, because there are big hitters in that Europa League now. So I think that losing that Europa League not losing Europa League, but losing to Zagreb in the way that we did, being 2-0 up, was way worse than the Carabao loss. And if we can confirm a Europa League spot, and we can kind of sort ourselves in the market, sell a few players that can go, make a few shrewd signings, there's no reason to say, and if we keep our players, like we've said, our main players, then there's no reason to say that we can't go and win that Europa League. Because I believe that Man U, Arsenal, Roma, and Villarreal, I believe that we could have given them all a challenge had we had maybe the right tactics. So those are the 3 reasons why, for me, this is the most important game of out of the last 3. And if we can win this, then that Leicester game's there's not as much pressure because we've sort of confirmed all of our objectives and our checkpoints. So this is why it's more important than the Leicester game for me.
Let's look at the league table and the form going into, because this will always solidify in terms of what you said. And let's get it right. It's not St. Tottenham's Day. It's St. Goonering's Day. Sorry, my bad. I think I actually trademarked that. I made that up and I told Marlon it's St. Goonering's Day. And we celebrated it plenty of times over the last few years. Anyway, that being said, this is now the league table as of yesterday, or should I say today. All teams now on 36 games played. Round of games tomorrow, round of games on Wednesday. And it's in our own hands, provided we win the next game and we win and match anything that West Ham do, we are in 6th place. There is, as I said, a mathematical possibility that we could get to 4th, but the chances of that are very slim towards none. And Liverpool have got a good chance now to get into the Champions League if they win their both games, because Leicester and Chelsea can't win both the games, and I think they play each other tomorrow. But looking at our form, just looking at Villa, I'll just take off this bottom banner so we can see where Villa are. Villa currently on 49 points. We are on 59 points. As I said, 2 games to go. Villa being that on Wednesday. And then we play Leicester on Sunday, which everybody plays the same time. Does it look like we're assured now of finishing in that top 6? Do you think that these players, given that we're playing this home game tomorrow, what's your thoughts, Sid, on us finishing the season strongly? How do you think we're going to do this?
I think Wednesday, we're definitely, like everyone's saying, we should definitely win on Wednesday. Leicester game, in my opinion, I agree with Darius as well. Tomorrow, Wednesday is the most important. Leicester have already cemented their place in the Champions League. They've won the FA Cup, so they're still in dreamland. So it's whether they turn up. I personally don't think last game of the season they're going to be interested, to be honest. All right, it's at their place, but they'll have nothing to play for. And for us, I think Wednesday and Leicester, I think we'll 6 points. I'm confident we'll get 6 points both games.
Is that not a little bit? Is that not a little bit of a danger though? Because like I said, I remember us going up to, was it Newcastle? I think it was 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Oh,
2016,
do you remember that game?
5-1? Was it 5-1?
5-1,
No, 5-1 or 5-0, yeah.
5-1, I think it was, yeah.
That was
Mason's last game for us, isn't it?
And then we went and brought Sissoko from them, didn't we?
Yeah, Sissoko.
Ran around us and then we bought him.
And I was like, this guy. And then when we bought him, I was like, oh, well done, Spurs. He's
yeah.
Obviously, we know what's happened since then. Anyway, let's not get on to number 17's case. He's not made much of an appearance the last few games, so I'm not too fussed. But if he makes an appearance come Wednesday, I tell you, there'll be hell to pay. There'll be hell to pay if he's coming on. But I don't think he will be. Because I think we're going to really stick to the same team. Just in terms of that, then, do we think that Spurs are where they should be? And what I say by that is the league table. They always say, a bit of a cliche, the league table never lies. Are we in and around where we actually should be, or have we had some extenuating circumstances that could have meant we could have finished a little bit higher? I'll come to Darius first on that one.
I think we had a bit of a conversation about this off camera a few days ago. I personally think that we could have done a lot more. I really do believe that, given, and obviously you've got if you look at all the teams above us and the quality of them, you could say and you could argue that they all have better quality teams than us. But what I will say is, if you look over the course of the season, I really, really strongly believe that, given the circumstances and what's happened this season, there was opportunities in there for us to kind of sneak in. And I look back at the Newcastle game, for example. I look back at even the Arsenal game as well, where we didn't really show much. We could have picked up points against these teams and even losing to Leeds, stuff like that, where if we had kind of won those games and all those other teams, it was a weekend. Was it the weekend that we drew with Newcastle, where most of the teams around us lost? And I thought if we had beat Newcastle in that weekend, we could have been what's the difference between us and Chelsea? 5 points. We would have been 2 points off Chelsea, and then this game would have meant so much more. And that's the thing. It's a difference of 2 points, 3 points that makes such a massive difference. And I know that you can say hypothetically, all these other teams that had dropped points, Chelsea losing to West Brom, all these other teams could have said the same thing. But I really do strongly believe that we were doing so well in November. We were top of the league, and we've dropped down significantly, and we kind of still stayed around that area. And it's only now at the end of the season where I thought with 7 games to go, we could have still got in the top 4. And now with 3 games to go, it's all over. So what happened in those 4 games for us to kind of rule that out? Because I definitely strongly remember us all talking about, top 4 is still on. So I just want to know what happened in those 4 games for us to kind of go from top 4s on to, wow, now we're still trying to fight for Europa League.
I think it's bigger than that, though, isn't it, Dara? So if you look at our results over the course of the season and look at the teams that we've either drawn against or ended up losing, we wouldn't even be struggling for top 4 if we had got those results right.
You're thinking of the West Hams, the Crystal Palaces,
the Crystal Palace, the Fulham, the Wolves. You can go on.
Newcastle again with the handball.
Again. Yeah, exactly that. All of a sudden, if we got the results that we needed there, we would be talking to top 2, top 3. It's a completely different conversation, isn't it? But for whatever reason, we now find ourselves where we are and struggling to. Well, we're not going to get top 4, but I mean, we're fighting for top 6 realistically, aren't we? So
Simon, I'm going to ask you:
disappointing.
Do you think we deserve to be where we are, or should we be higher in the table?
No, I absolutely not, because we only have ourselves to blame, and that's what David said there. In November, we was top, and look what's gone on. You know what I mean? So, where we are at the minute, it's down to the players and down to the management. So we deserve to where we are. We just messed it up ourselves. So we can't say, oh, because we're Tottenham, we deserve to be in the top four. You know what I mean? It goes on results, and as you said, the league doesn't lie. And we've messed it up ourselves. So the only what I can say, Sam, is the players and the management have let us down. I really have.
100%. I keep saying this, and it is a cliche. I know it is, but you do finish where you do finish in terms of the league, because we could have hypothetically won those games, but there was other games we didn't deserve to win, which we did win. So it kind of swings and roundabout. There's other teams that maybe should have won certain games. Blah blah blah. I just think that when push came to shove, we didn't win the games that we should have won. And when I say that, not so much against the top six or so-called top six, but against some of the results we had against Crystal Palace. I remember Crystal Palace. I think it was Wolves. I think it was Fulham. I think it was Brighton. You can go through the list of those sort of teams where we were in the lead, then we decided to sit back. Maybe that was the tactics of Jose. It has shown in the last game or so that we can attack and we can score goals. But I just think those games where winning positions, I think it's 23 points or second, or we're only second to someone like Brighton. You know, don't turn them games into wins. We should have done that. But as I said, I just don't think we've got quite the depth of squad that we maybe thought in order to compete on all the fronts that we've been keeping.
But there's a balance, isn't there, Sam, if you think about it? Because you say about these games that we weren't dominating and finishing off and kind of going for the jugular. And I say that's the reason why, and I've seen this now from Mason's time in charge. I really am putting that on Jose now. I struggle to believe those players not wanting to go and score another goal. I think it's the manager that they were afraid to do that, because Jose would have got angry had they conceded because of that. So I put that on Jose, those results earlier on. And I look at Mason, and I think the Leeds game specifically, there's naivety there to not sort of play similar to Jose and kind of let Leeds make their own mistakes as well. So there's just a balance. For me, it's the managerial appointment. If we had somebody who had an idea, and I'm not saying Thomas Tuchel would have came in or anything, but if you look at what Thomas Tuchel has done, he's got a plan. He's got a plan for every single game. He changes his team, and he's got the resources to do that. But still, he's not really changed that defense. And Rudiger and Christensen weren't very good for Lampard. So he's got a system working for those players, and he's changes it slightly. Like, he pressed Man City quite high in certain games, and he's also held off against Man City in other games. So he does it based off who those...
What I would say, though, is that I don't believe that a manager... We'd have gotten short-term manager bounce by bringing someone like Tuchel in. As I've mentioned before, I think we need some foundations. We need to see, more... What is our philosophy? What is Tottenham? What is Tottenham Hotspur? What type of team are we? What type of club are we? Are we going to have a director of football? Are we not? Just to bring in Tuchel, I agree, would have made a difference. He's obviously a very good tactical genius, but a year down the line, I don't know if we'd have been any better. I think we need to get a structure, and maybe this is what the boards maybe do, maybe taking a bit more time to do that. But getting back to the actual Villa game in itself, I don't think there's anything. There is nothing to. These players should be able to go out there on Wednesday and just play the game of football with the fans 100%. Behind them and win. Absolutely. That's all I want to see. I want to see them perform. There's no excuse about the boards for the team on the pitch.
No,
it's Grealish playing.
Yeah, he's been starting. He's been starting, but he's not been playing 90. So that's something to take. And if Grealish is playing, he started and then he came off at 60, I think, Sid. But he came off the bench in the game before. Like I said, if Grealish starts, then Tanganga has to start, in my opinion. If Aurier starts against Grealish,
we're going to get into that. Let's put the luck. And you might be surprised. This is the last 5 matches against Villa, and then Sid, this should give us some confidence. Hopefully.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
So in the last 5 games against Villa, we are unbeaten. And I even stretch back further than that. I think that there was 1 loss that we had, and then it stretches back another 5 or 6 games. We even beat him in the FA Cup when we played him in the FA Cup as well. But this is just league games. So as you can see, home and away, Villa are one of the teams that we like to play. We really, really like to play. However, we know what Spurs do. Dr. Spurs, you're welcome to be seen now by Dr. Spurs. Let's not get it twisted. I'm hopeful that won't be the case on Wednesday. But Sid, looking at that form, is there anything that you think other than a victory that we should be looking at come Wednesday?
No, because look, if you look, we've scored 3, we've averaged 2 and 3 goals in every single game. I mean, this is a different Villa, and like Darius said, if Jack Grealish plays, it's a different ball game because obviously he's their main man. But I still see, even if he plays, and if we play to our strengths like we did against Wolves, we can score 2. Definitely score 2. We've got the firepower. We've got the midfield. Plays the right players again. Play the players in form. You've just won a game. Stick to that winning mentality.
Yeah.
Stick to that core team. They've played together. Forget this chopping and changing. Don't bring Aurier back in just because he's come back. No, play the team that you've got. They've just won. They've got confidence in them, and 10,000 fans behind you. You know what? You're going to be geared up, and 2 goals, maybe more. I can see.
Wow,
100%.
Sid, I like that. We'll get to the score
I'm
predictions at the end. I'll get to the score predictions at the end. We can see you put your chest out then. Put your chest way out there. Mike, what's the strategy and tactics going into this game Wednesday?
If we keep Grealish quiet, I think that's the first start. And then the rest of it, I think, can take care of itself. I don't think if we keep him quiet, then I think we nullify Aston Villa, their attack from their threat from going forward from an attack perspective. Defensively, they're prone to conceding. We know that. I mean, you look at the last 5 results you just put up. We average 2 goals, 2-3 goals a game, or 2-3 goals per game we've played them. So I've got like Sid said, I've got no concerns about us finding the back of the net against them. It's just whether defensively we can sort of stop that threat from Grealish and keep him quiet. You keep him quiet, then that's half the battle, isn't it? Really. I don't think they've got many players that are going to cause us too many issues.
I'd only say Ollie Watkins and Traore. I think they do have a decent front three, but
whilst you I'm going to put up the team that played against Wolves, and then I'm going to put up my not predicted anymore, what I would like to see, but although I think it's going to be pretty much this team. So I expect this team to be the same team that starts on Wednesday. Lloris in goal, Tanganga, possibly Aurier may come in. Dyer, Alderweireld, Reguilon, Højbjerg, Lo Celso as the 2 midfielders, Dele Alli just ahead, Bale on that right side, Son on the left, and Kane down the centre. I don't see any reason why they won't play that team, or Mason wouldn't play that team. Although, like I said, I've got some concerns about number 15. And as I said, I know Dele's played well. He's played well, but I'm still not his biggest fan, Simon. I'll say that. But he has played well. He did. He did play well. Simon, any thoughts on that team? What do you think there'll be any differences come the game on Wednesday?
No, Sam, absolutely not, mate. I think smack on the money there, mate. I think go with that winning mentality, as what Sid said. You cannot change the team. They've won it on the weekends, and go with the same team. And what I was saying to Mike there, he said about Grealish, I've got a couple other players, guys, as well. We've got to keep Watkins and Traore happy. We'll keep them at bay, and McGinn in midfield as well. He's another good player.
But if you cut off that supply, it's not going to be plain. It's not going to be plain sailing for us against Villa. But if we play as we did against Wolves, we've got to go at them. You know what I mean? And you know what? I tell you now, guys. The one thing I can say about Mason, and that's what Mike said earlier, he could have just done what Joe's done and just like defend. But he's unshackled all these players and just let them play football. And I think, I could give him some credit there, Mason. But that's all.
I think. And right before we just finish off, I just want to put this was my actual team that I would maybe like to see. It's not a predicted team anymore. And the reason I've got more on this right hand side is, as I said, Jack Grealish for me. If Bale doesn't track back and help out whoever the right back is, whether that's Aurier or Tanganga, and he starts to get a little bit of form, because obviously he's been out for a few months now, it could be a hard day. So we do need to have some sort of protection on that right hand side. So I would probably go with Tanganga because of that, but I just put Aurier down there because the way that Mason was talking pre-game at the weekend, he was like, "Oh, Aurier was injured, so he probably would have played." But what's Villa's strengths? Who apart from Jack Grealish? I know that's the obvious one, but where else can Villa hurt us? Who wants to answer that?
I think Watkins, you know what?
Yeah.
He's very, very much
Absolutely.
underestimated. I mean, he's
Yeah.
quality. People don't realize how good he is. And on his day, they've had a few games when Grealish is not played, and Watkins is down the left. I've seen him, and he's ruined some right backs. He's very skillful. He's quite pacey as well. So he's going to be a potential threat for us, and that's why I won't play Aurier, because if he rinses him in and out, he could be liable to that penalty, giving it away or something like that. Whereas Tanganga, I think, I'll be a bit more solid. So I'd stick with Tanganga, and Watkins definitely. If Grealish doesn't have a good game, I think Watkins we're going to have to watch him for the full 90 minutes.
Mike?
All I would say is your strikers are only as good as the service, aren't they? So you cut that service off to Watkins, and he shouldn't be a threat. As long as you concentrate and deal with him accordingly, then he shouldn't have the opportunities to try and score or potentially.
Talking about Dyer,
Just gonna say.
Don't mention his name.
Don't
not mention the name.
Diabolical.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You are taking a piss now. I can see it. You can see it in your mischievous face. You can see it in your face.
Why does he say that? Why does he say that? I mean, yeah,
Darius, I'll come to you.
You've killed me there, Simon. I have nothing to say on that. Moon Boots has done me.
Apart from the obvious Jack Grealish, do we have to look out for anybody else? The Barclays, the Watkins, and how do you think Villa?
I forgot
about him.
Yeah, if Barkley plays, then I think also the midfield is going to be pretty important then, because they've got Douglas Luiz, McGinn, and Barkley. McGinn is a flipping workhorse. Yeah. He's so good. And if you don't match that energy, he'll do what Stuart Dallas did against us, and he'll run the show in midfield. And that's why I don't think Ndombele is going to even play in this game, because if you've got McGinn buzzing about in there, Højbjerg is going to have to keep him busy. He's going to have to keep Barkley obviously contained as well. And then Douglas Luiz is the one who just sits behind in front of the centre-back. So they've got a good midfield. And again, I really do like Traore. I really do like Ollie Watkins. And obviously Jack Grealish is Jack Grealish. So I think they're very, very threatening. And I don't fear, like we said, I think it was Mike, you said, I don't fear us scoring at all. I think we'll probably score 2 goals minimum this game. It's the defensive ability of Dyer, and Ollie Watkins, again, you said his pace, his shooting ability, his finishing, but also his work off the ball is really good. He presses a lot and he's very intense. And Dyer under pressure is just doesn't work very well. So it's one of those things where I just hope that we can kind of score enough goals to where we can kind of almost make a mistake. If we do concede, it's not going to be detrimental. We're not going to feel under pressure. But I think that those fans in the stadium is going to galvanize. I hope it galvanizes those players enough 100%. To where they just will go for it. They'll just go for it regardless of what's going on.
Is it 10,000 Spurs fans? Was it 5 each?
No, there's
no away fans. No away fans.
No away fans.
So I think what they'll do is it's like home fans and then maybe casual as well.
That's a massive game changer here. That's a game changer.
It's huge. It's massive. It's huge.
Massive.
And like I said, if the players don't perform on Wednesday because of having the fans, then we have got a lot of problems. Oh yeah, El Ghazi, that's a very good start. He's a good player, very good player. Just one comment here: we could do worse than go for McGinn. Very hard worker, good to rotate with PEH and Skip.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'd have him all day long. I'd have McGinn all day long. McGinn's great.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think he's not an upgrade.
You don't need 3 players.
No, he's not an upgrade. Like he's not better. He's not better.
Nah.
He's not better than what we've got. So
I think you're underrating McGinn, you know.
No, I've seen
him. He's better than Celso, trust me.
I think he is as well, you know. I actually think he is, you know. I'm not gonna lie. McGinn, you don't need to watch McGinn. McGinn's a baller. Simon, I'm with you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm with you, Simon.
Look at him nodding his head. He's mischievous.
It's 3v2 right now. It's 3v2 right now. You guys are outnumbered.
I can't be doing with this. I'm gonna have to go to the score prediction.
Let's do it.
Otherwise, we're gonna have some right Barneys here. Right then. I'm gonna start off.
Say, Sam?
Oh, say again.
McGinn.
It's a hand wings in the subject name.
John McGinn.
Do me a favour, boys.
This is like when people mention. Remember when you was on before, Simon, and we were talking about Eddie Howe, and you said Eddie Howe. You was like disgusting. That's how I feel about John McGinn. That's how I feel about it. I'm not having none of it. I'm not having it. Sorry, I'm going to go first with the score.
Watch him.
I have watched him. He's a baller. Yeah,
he's gonna run us now. Watch, he's gonna run the midfield now. Watch, we've all cursed it now.
I am going to start off with the score predictions because I'm not letting you lot take this into some other area that I don't want to talk about. So my score prediction for the game on Wednesday, I think it's going to be. I think Villa are in a similar type of boat that Wolves are. I think, Jack Grealish is probably playing for a bit of fitness, but he's not going to go over the top because I think he doesn't want to reoccur that injury, obviously with the Euros ahead. So I don't see him putting out a real major performance, but he's going to be getting himself back up to speed. And even a 70-80% Jack Grealish is going to cause problems. That being said, I think Spurs are now, I'd like to say, turned the corner, but we never know. You just never know. I'm going.
Hold on.
I'm going to take my book here. I write this down. I'm going 3-1. I'm going 3-1 Spurs. The home fans, 10,000 fans, these players have got to be up for it. Sam Spurs for Life says 3-1 to the Spurs. Let's come next to Sid. What are you saying? Sid?
You read my mind. Because I was saying exactly the same thing. I said Kane's gonna score 2, and I think Son needs to get on the score sheet. And I think, like you guys said, we're gonna have that one moment of madness at the back, and we're gonna allow them to score 1. So I'm going 3-1 Spurs as well.
He's always, what I've learned now that can't keep clean. Well, saying that we did get the clean sheet the other day, but I just don't. I don't trust us. Don't trust us. Mike.
Oh, you boys are killing me today. You're all trying to hustle me here.
It's in the name, Mike. It's in the name. Simon's trying to hustle us with that McGinn chat.
Sid's trying to hustle us with this 3-1 talk. I was going to go 3-1, but I'm not going to go for that now. Do you know what?
If you feel it, Mike, if you feel it's 3-1, say it. Don't matter.
No, I'm not having because it'll go against us. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm nervous saying that as well, to be fair.
He's not messing about. Darius, I'm gonna leave that cheeky little one down the bottom till last because I'm not having a John McGinn talk. But I'm gonna come to Darius next.
Troublemaker.
What's your thoughts?
All right. So before Simon predicts a Dele Alli hat trick, I'm gonna go with Well, you know my saying, so I'm not predicting a clean sheet, am I? I just don't know if we're going to score 2 or 3. I'm going to go 2-1. I think that Villa actually are going to give us quite a bit of a struggle. I don't think they'll score, but I think they're going to have a lot more shots than Wolves, and they're going to put themselves about more than Wolves. I think Wolves, again, looking back at the game, I think we probably gave ourselves a bit too much credit, and we maybe didn't realize how bad Wolves were. Wolves were pretty poor. So yeah, I'll go 2-1, but I don't think it's not going to be a comfortable game, this one. I think they've got a lot of reasons to threaten us, and Spurs, and if you've got number 15 playing, then anything's possible, isn't it? So.
All right then, last but not least, Premier Hotspur, cheeky Simon. Here we go. Let's have it.
Yes, guys. Yes, 4-2. That's what I'm going. 4-2 Spurs, guys.
Bloody hell. What
I almost choked on my water, Simon. There,
Darius, put some respect on Dele Hullet's name. That is going to score tonight.
Simon. I lost respect for him when he put those dreads in his hair, mate. When he put those dreads in his hair, respect was out the window, mate. He's got to score a hat trick tomorrow on Wednesday for that respect to come back. I'm telling you that now.
2 tomorrow.
Nobody gets my respect if you put fake dreadlocks. Not even braids, Simon. Dreadlocks. Dirty.
Hold on. Everybody, hold on.
Why can't
I've done this before. If you're watching out there, these are not the views of PAXTON Road TV. I'm not calling him Dele Hullet. That is not happening. What the hell? I've got to go to some comments here because you've done my head in. You've done my head in today. I really thought you've done my head in.
Are we going to address the elephant in the room or not? Are we going to address the elephant in the room?
No.
Watch him go tomorrow, guys. He'll play like Phillips tomorrow. What?
Ah, dear. I didn't know. I've lost where I was in the bloody chats as well. There was quite a few coming up here. But we're going to go down. Let's see what we've got. We might have seen this one already. Oh God, yeah, we have seen that one already.
Yeah.
Someone saying we could do worse than McGinn. Well, let's do worse than McGinn. I want to do worse than him.
We are doing worse than McGinn. We got two players doing worse than McGinn right now.
Exactly.
We're still making a living.
Paul Brown says, whoever our next manager is, pick and mix at this stage has to be able to exploit, get the best out of the youth.
Yeah.
Christopher, if they go one down, do you think the protest will start? If they go one down with 10,000 fans in the stadium, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem.
He's better than Winks and Sissoko, is McGinn.
Combined.
Yes. Go on.
Yeah.
We've got Ali, another person who's on the Simon Im sheet here. Spot on, Darius. What comment was that you made there, Darius? Pilchers are
probably all of them. Probably all of them.
Probably
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
The 2-1 scoreline. Here we go. So people are going with 2-1 here. Let's see. But would you pick Ndombele? Good grief, Sam. I'm saying on Ndombele because he's a baller. Definitely. Danny says, yes, lads. Questions. You're looking forward to the dark ages again. 2-1 Spurs from the Sussex Hotspur. Whew. Here we go again. Home fans up for it. They should be demanding for Levy's head. Good evening, everyone. yes, lads. Big up to you. Ali, question. You're looking forward to the dark ages again? Who said that already? Kane's last. Oh, no. Some people. Right. So let's just go back. Sorry we haven't addressed the Kane situation tonight because obviously we wanted to look at the Villa game. We may do a special on Kane. But at this moment in time, it's a lot of talk. I've not heard Kane come out and say anything until he says something direct. This is just a way of Sky to sell column inches and hits and likes and all the rest of it. So I'm not going with it.
You got to play it to them as well. They've done very well. That release of information is played well into their hands.
Of course.
100%.
It's a rumour.
It's a
sadly, none of us are going to the game, are we?
Until we come down.
Going to the game. No,
I'm not listening.
No, I'm not paying £60.
Final comment, please.
Is Bob Spurs?
15-7 to Spurs.
I've spoke to Bob recently, and Bob's just not happy at the moment. So he's just having a.
Someone give him a hug.
I want to give Bob a hug. He's not.
Stroke his beard and give him a hug. Someone cry out loud.
Thank you for watching. This has been entertaining. Oh dear. Oh God. Dear me. Sorry for the lack of professionalism tonight, but Simon's done it. I'm gonna blame him for this one. Sid, you were spot on the money, but this guy down here, look at him. He's still laughing. He's still bloody laughing. Will Stewart, 38-24. Kane with 2 touchdowns. Oh dear. Bob,
Billy Hunnit, I can't just. It's just too much.
We got that.
It's too much.
As long as the money gets reinvested in the team, which is not guaranteed, I think we should sell Kane. And last comment here: Kane to kick the ball into Levy's face. Gentlemen, we could do this all night. And we could go back and forth. We could go back and forth.
God almighty, what's happened tonight? I don't know.
The best thing of all the night, I've heard it all. I've heard some things in my time, but Deli Hullet.
It just kills me.
Remember the name. I said it first.
Deli Hullet. I just can't take it.
Like, subscribe, share, comment. That's all I can say, please.
And that is definitely not a view.
Even though you may have heard somebody on this panel say Deli Hullet, it wasn't all of us that said that. Please don't just leave our channel because of that. We are spot on with our punditry at times, but we've got some comedians in the house tonight. I must say that. Like, subscribe, share, comment.
Oh man,
gentlemen, Mike, Darius. Oof. Simon and Sid, thank you very, very much. It's been very enjoyable.
Boys.
Come on, you Spurs. Let's get this victory. Make sure them gooners can't get above us. And that is it. And breathe. See you later.